Good afternoon and welcome to the October 21st, 2000 scheduled meeting of the Orlando City Council. I love when council chambers are filled with happy people. Our pastor today was delayed, so stepping in since we had a pastor that was from College Park Presbyterian will be the city commissioner that represents College Park, Robert Stewart. And after the invocation, Director of Transportation Billy Hadaway will lead the pledge. Billy served in the U.S. Air Force Reserves for 8 years. He enlisted in and belonged to the 919 Special Operations Group at Elgin Air Force Base in Fort Walton Beach. After basic training, he was trained and specialized as a weapons instructor in the Combat Support Squadron, where he trained Air Force personnel in safe operations of firearms and supervised the firing range. He achieved the rank of Staff Sergeant before applying for a direct commission, and he was one of a very few who were selected for a direct commission to Second Lieutenant from the 919 Special Operations Group. You may stand or remain seated.
Will you bow your heads with me, please? Lord, we come to this place and ask for your guidance, ask for your blessing, ask for those things that give us that extra bit of wisdom, the wisdom that you have called us to use. Lord, I pray for this council and this mayor. I pray for those that gathered in this room that serve our community in such a wonderful and special way. But Lord, I pray for this city. Pray for its guidance. Pray for your leadership in it, so that what we do here matters to the least of these. Lord, be with us. It's in your name that we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll and make a determination of a quorum?
Commissioner Gray.
Here.
Commissioner Ortiz.
Here.
Commissioner Stewart.
Here.
Commissioner Sheehan.
Here.
Commissioner Hill.
Here.
Commissioner Inks.
Here.
Mayor Dyer.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum with all members present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll take up first for consideration the agenda review and City Council meeting minutes of October the 7th. Motion by Commissioner Ortiz, second by Commissioner Hill. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Okay. How about some awards, presentations, and recognitions? Let's start today with our Multicultural Affairs Manager, Georgina Panidi Roland.
Roland is fine. Good afternoon, Mayor Dyer and Commissioners. It is my great honor to stand here today on behalf of the Multicultural Affairs Department and share more about the meaning of the LGBTQ+ History Month. October is not only the month that we celebrate Pride in Orlando, it is also a month dedicated to celebrating the achievement of our LGBTQ+ community and their struggles for civil rights. LGBTQ+ History Month originated in the United States and was first celebrated in 1994. It was founded by Missouri high school history teacher Rodney Wilson. Every day, our LGBTQ+ residents contribute to a great city in unique ways. They come from every walk of life and from every part of the globe. These individuals have changed the history of our country and our city forever. People like Commissioner Patty Sheehan, who ran for office and became the first openly LGBTQ+ person to be elected to the office in Central Florida. She's a trailblazer like Commissioner Sheehan, who have made Orlando one of the most inclusive cities in our nation. Thank you, Commissioner Sheehan. I would also like to thank Mayor Dyer for your commitment to inclusion and for being a champion for LGBTQ+ equality since the very beginning of your administration. Mayor Dyer, I would like to invite you to read the proclamation for the LGBTQ+ History Month and then take a picture with several LGBTQ leaders.
Okay, proclamation, City of Orlando. Whereas October is Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, and Queer Plus History Month across the United States, and whereas LGBTQ+ History Month was created in 1994 by Rodney Wilson, a high school history teacher, and whereas LGBTQ+ History Month celebrates the community's struggles against discrimination and the history of heroism of those who fought for civil rights, and whereas Orlando has one of the largest populations of LGBTQ+ individuals in the United States, and whereas the LGBTQ+ community has come together in an unprecedented way with the rest of Orlando in the aftermath of the Pulse tragedy, and whereas the LGBTQ+ community is an integral part of the social and economic fabric of the City of Orlando, and whereas the City of Orlando is committed to inclusion and it recognizes the need for full legal and social equality of LGBTQ+ residents, and whereas the City of Orlando is proud to be an inclusive city for everyone, regardless of gender, race, religion, nationality, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. Now, therefore, we, Buddy Dyer, Mayor of the City of Orlando, and Patty Sheehan, District 4 City Commissioner, hereby do proclaim October 2019 as LGBTQ+ History Month in the City of Orlando. Our monitor says, "A horse is a horse, of course, unless it isn't exactly a horse." Or what kind of equines do we have here? It's a little odd. Okay, but what's not odd is our relationship, our long partnerships with our hometown university, UCF. They're not only an academic partner, but they're also a partner in our economic development, our community, our quality of life, and we look all the time for how we can strengthen that partnership and that bond, and certainly with the opening of the new downtown campus. So today we are hosting the inaugural UCF Student Government Day here at City Hall, and we have a number of UCF students that have spent the day meeting with staff and learning all about what we do here at City Council, and I have a proclamation that I would like to read in their honor today. Whereas the University of Central Florida student government is a representative body modeled after the U.S. government and through its executive, legislative, and judicial branches aims to represent student issues and concerns at all levels of university decision making. And whereas UCF student government was established in 1969 to serve as the advocate for our university's largest stakeholders, its students. And whereas through a $20.4 million budget, the UCF student government maintains hundreds of student jobs, oversees student-funded agencies and facilities, and is constantly creating new services and initiatives aimed at making campus life better for all UCF Knights. And whereas one of the reasons UCF has grown remarkably in stature and reputation is its close partnerships with elected officials at the local, state, and national levels, and whereas students at UCF are excited for the opportunity to engage in the process of local government, and whereas the relationships built between the City of Orlando staff and UCF students can lead to a more dynamic and collaborative partnership. Now, therefore, we, Buddy Dyer, Mayor of the City of Orlando, and all of our district commissioners hereby do proclaim Monday, October 21st, 2019 as UCF Student Day in the city of Orlando. If you guys would stand up, and I understand maybe you have a spokesperson? We have 4, is that right? 4 spokespeople, that would be great. Welcome to the podium.
So real quick, wait, Madeline, do you want to come up here? So real quick, right. So thank you so much, Mayor Dyer, and to the entire Orlando City Commission. We are so grateful for the opportunity to come today and share a day of work with you all, and to hear from many of the commissioners earlier today, and hear from other members of city government as well. Through our Student Government Senate, actually, Rachel is the chair of the Governmental Affairs and Policy Committee and helped get this resolution passed through our Student Body Senate to deliver to you all also, actually, which also proclaims our relationship with the city of Orlando and future prosperity and growth when it comes to campuses and economic development in areas like Creative Village and around UCF downtown. So thank you so much for your continued support of our institution as well. And Kyler right here is our student body president, and if you just want to
Okay,
give a
sure.
couple remarks.
That resolution is a living testimony to the fact for your years of service and dedication to Mayor Dyer's years of service and dedication to our institution. UCF would not be the institution it is today without the collaboration and partnership with the city of Orlando. And so thank you for that. And as always, go Knights!
Charge on!
All right.
Charge on!
Why don't we do one more quick one?
Want to stand up in the back?
So we did a picture with the entire group all beforehand, so you're not reaching. Come on, guys.
Come on, UCF. Come on, Commissioner.
Be nice to me.
My fellow man, we got to represent.
Stand up and let's recognize you.
Government badge.
One of the commissioners graduated from UCF, but that's okay.
Excuse me, two.
3.
Oh, it's 2. Okay, 2 commissioners.
Two. Okay, 2 of our city commissioners graduated from UCF.
Thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner Ortiz and
Right on cue.
about that.
You and Mr. Ed.
And Commissioner Sheehan. Okay, a few items from the mayor's update. We had Immerse 2019 this last weekend. More than 1,000 artists and performers were out. It was fantastic. Even with the inclement weather, it was just a great display of the creativity and community, sense of community that we have here. So congratulations to Creative City Project for doing such an incredible job, and I know it's just going to continue to grow from here. Bike to Work is coming up on Friday. I invite you to join us at Lock Haven Park at 8 a.m. for the 20th annual Bike to Work Day. We'll go from there to City Hall. Bike to Work Day is part of Mobility Week, where we, as city government, schedule events to promote safe and sustainable multimodal transportation choices. Orlando is proud to be a bicycle-friendly city with over 360 miles of bike lanes, signed routes, and trails. Also, Fall Fiesta in the Park is going to be on Saturday, November 2nd and Sunday, November 3rd, 10 to 5 in, yes, Lake Eola Park. Also, Veterans Day is coming up. So Saturday, November 9th, we'll have the 20th annual Veterans Day Parade. And this year, the parade theme honors our World War II veterans, as this year marks the 75th anniversary of the D-Day invasion. And we have 5 Grand Marshals, all who served on D-Day. That kicks off at 11. And then I have just a couple items of note from the Consent agenda. On today's agenda, we'll be voting to appoint Chief Benjamin Barksdale to lead the Orlando Fire Department as its next fire chief. Chief Barksdale comes to us from Prince George's County, Maryland, where he led the largest combination municipal fire and EMS department in the U.S. And what a combination department is they have volunteers as well as regular firefighters. So it's interesting to see how they interact. Chief Barksdale has led a diverse department where women and minorities held prominent roles. We envision that he will bring that commitment to ensuring our firefighters have access to mental health programs and treatment. I am confident that he will do a great job leading the OFD. And then why a lot of people are here today is that we are approving funding for 47 human service, arts, and cultural organizations that serve our community and our residents. They work in partnership with the city to improve the quality of life for all of our residents, and their programs and services and homeless programs support family sustainability, domestic violence prevention, supporting our seniors, hunger relief. And additionally, arts and cultural funding awards will be made to United Arts of Central Florida and to the Science Center. Many of the people that represent those organizations are here with us today. Would you please stand and let us thank you for all you do for our community? Fantastic. Okay, and one last thing, I would like our city clerk to give us an update on the upcoming municipal elections for the city of Orlando. Denise?
Sure. The City of Orlando's general election is scheduled for Tuesday, November 5th for Mayor and District 6 Commissioner. That's just 15 days from today. There are 3 convenient ways to vote: vote by mail, early voting, or voting at the polls on Election Day. The vote by mail ballots can be picked up or delivered. The deadline for requesting a vote by mail ballot to be mailed to you is 5 p.m. on Saturday, October 26th. You can go to the Orange County Supervisor of Elections website at ocfelections.com and request a vote by ballot online, by fax, or by email. You can also check the status of your vote by mail ballot online. Pickup of a vote by mail ballot in person may occur at any time until the day before Election Day, so 5 p.m. Monday, November 4th at the Orange County Supervisor of Elections office at 119 Cayley Street. A designee can also pick up a blank vote by mail ballot for another voter within 9 days before and on Election Day. However, there are limits and restrictions on designees, so please visit the Orange County Supervisor of Elections website at ocfelections.com or call them directly at 407-836-2070 for more information on this. For your vote to count, the Orange County Supervisor of Elections office must receive your voted, signed vote by mail ballot no later than 7 p.m. on Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th. Postmarks do not count. So that's vote by mail. If you want to go to early voting will take place on Monday, October 28th through Friday, November 1st from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday, November 7th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and on Sunday, November 3rd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Orange County Supervisor of Elections office at 119 West Cayley Street. And finally, voting at the polls on Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th. Be sure to check your polling place locations. Sample ballots will be mailed out tomorrow, October 22nd. Please make sure to read these notices carefully, as some polling locations have either changed or been added since the last time you voted. You can view your sample ballot and check your polling place location by going online to the Orange County Supervisor of Elections website at ocfelections.com. Just click on the City of Orlando election link on the homepage, and there you will find important dates and additional important links. I do want to mention that the District 2 race was unopposed at the end of qualifying, and Commissioner Ortiz was deemed reelected at that time for another term. Congratulations, Commissioner Ortiz. And also, the District 4 race did have 2 candidates at the end of qualifying. However, one candidate withdrew from the race on October 8th, leaving the remaining candidate, Commissioner Sheehan, unopposed and thereby deemed reelected for another term. Congratulations, Commissioner Sheehan. Having said this, the ballots for District 4 Commissioner were already printed with both candidate names and will not be reprinted for Election Day. Voters with vote-by-mail ballots that have been returned will be mailed a postcard informing them that the race was eliminated. District 4 sample ballots were revised to state that the race was eliminated, and future vote-by-mail ballots will have an insert with the same message. All voting booths at early voting and Election Day will also have the message posted. Those who have already voted by mail by law cannot have their ballots returned. So again, 3 convenient ways to vote: vote by mail, early voting, or vote at the polls on Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th. That's it.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Are there any other students here today other than the representatives from UCF Student Government? Way in the back, waving. Okay, are you Valencia students? Okay, would you guys stand up and let us recognize you as well and wave big in the back? Thanks for being here and getting your course credits by coming to the City of Orlando. Okay, we will move on to the consent agenda, and the consent agenda is a number of items acted upon by a single vote of council. We give each of our commissioners an opportunity to comment on items from the consent agenda and update you on important happenings in their districts, and we rotate the order that we do that, and today Commissioner Jim Gray is first up.
Thank you, Mayor. Full agenda today, so I'll be brief. Activities in the southeast part of Orlando I put on my website, both past and future, so I'd ask you to go there. I wanted to address a couple issues on the agenda. First of all, the mayor mentioned this, item A2 through 4 is some funding agreements with our cultural community and arts groups, and I just wanted to echo the mayor. Thank you for what you guys do for the city of Orlando. We know this is a small amount of your budget. You still have money raising you have to always do, but thank you for what you do to make Orlando a better place to live. So please accept my appreciation for what you do. Also, the second item I wanted to talk about was A7, and that's the appointment of the new fire chief. I support that and would like to welcome him to the City Beautiful, and I know he'll do a good job. I've met with him, and so I just wanted to acknowledge my welcome to the chief. Third item I wanted to talk about was F2, and that's the item for the award of the local government preference for the low-income housing tax credits. We talked a bit about it at the agenda review. It's something I've talked about in the past, but let's take a look at what this is. This is a federal tax program that the federal government came up with the intent to spur affordable housing, and that program is administered at the state level. And what this, as I understand it, what this item is to basically have the City of Orlando designate one of those 3 projects as our support as the developer owner goes and applies for those tax credits. So I'm not saying it's always correct. I've been critical of the program before. Yes, there's a lot of profit potential in it for the developer, but there's also a lot of risk. And a lot of developers are spending a lot of money to try to get their application in place, and they may not get the award, and they don't get reimbursed for that. So I make no bones about it. I'm not a huge fan of the program. I think it's extremely lucrative, but it's the rules that we're playing under, and I think for that reason, I support it, and let's hope that we can do it. It's not the only affordable housing program. There's many out there. This is just one. And so I would say I support F2, and we hope they get the credits. And I would say this, and I've said it to staff before, but I'm going to reiterate it. At least I was briefed very late in the game, and I've shared that frustration with the staff, that for these complicated issues, we need to hear about it before. And Mayor, this is the second or third year in a row that these have come in at the last minute. So if you could help reinforce that with the staff, that it'd be great if they could.
I have actually just done that over the lunch
Thank
period.
you very much, Mayor. So with that, that's all I have. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Commissioner Ortiz?
Thank you, Mayor. Let me start with the announcements for the district. On Monday, October 14th, District 2 team and I, along with Economic Development, hosted a community meeting to discuss the Carry Forward vision plan with our residents. I want to give a huge thanks to Ms. Elizabeth Dang, Kyla Hall and Megan Barrow, for taking the time out of their busy schedules to speak with our community. It was a great, effective meeting. I think it opened the doors to a dialogue and to understanding, which is most important when we're leading government. On October 18th, we hosted our annual District 2 Fall Festival in collaboration with the Englewood Community Center. They had the haunted house. The event brought over 1,500 people. Kids were all over the place. We're having a lot of fun. It was great to see the community gather and enjoy this particular event this fall. I want to thank Ms. Alex Temes, which is the manager of the Englewood Community Center, Officer Sanchez, who did a great job managing the safety, security, and all these kids at the end of the night, Chief Smith, Chief Velez, for their support in sending and Chief, thank you, for sending their team, SWAT team, and all the different teams. The kids were having a blast. COD Protection Services, which were security, private security, who also did a great job, what they call wanding, something like that, the kids. Make sure, I don't know the terminology. And the staff, other officers and the staff for pulling off such an amazing event. We have a few important dates coming up. October 24th from 6:30 to 8, we'll be hosting our Neighborhood Leaders Council meeting at the Dover Shores Neighborhood Center. On October 29th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m., the Orange County Clerk of Courts will be hosting a Clerks Against Domestic Violence workshop at our Englewood Community Center. In addition, the Orlando Police Department will be conducting a self-defense class. So for those of you that want to do some karate and all those different things, it's a good place to go and learn. And Harbor House of Central Florida will be offering guidance to those who have been affected by domestic violence. Lastly, I would like to wish Ms. Jackie from Commissioner Ng's office a happy, happy birthday. Commissioner Ng, you can sing for her. And on the agenda, items A2, A3, and A4, congratulations to all the recipients. Funny, as Commissioner Gray very well said it, I echo his words. Thank you for all you do for our community. There's a reason why the Central Florida region is the epicenter of the world, and it has to do with all of you guys working with our communities, working with the people in need, and the arts, and everything else that goes on that makes our community such a great place to live. And item A7, I'm going to vote no on it, and I will reserve those comments for a later time. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Stewart.
Thank you, Mayor. Let me share a couple of things. The Immerse was just wonderful. And what I loved about it was that when walking around Saturday night, there was scores of families that were there. They were enjoying what we do in Central Florida. So the demographic in the evening was much different than I had expected. And had to dodge strollers just about every time I turned around, which was great news. Getting expanded exposure to that. A couple of things I want to share with. Start with the Blind Americans Equality Day was this past week. Mayor, thank you for your support. Thank you to Sheila Young and the work that she did to help raise awareness for pedestrian safety for those who are visually impaired in our community. A couple things coming up before I get to the agenda items. Ivanhoe Village Business After Hours event is this Thursday evening from 5:30 to 7:30. It's one of my favorite stores, Miscellaneous, on Orange Avenue. Also, the Ivanhoe Village and Ivanhoe Park Brewery and Keep Orlando Beautiful are teaming up for a Halloween cleanup this coming Saturday at 10 o'clock. So join them to make our community cleaner. Our College Park Community Center will host the annual Fall Fantasyland Halloween event this Saturday from 3 to 6. It's a not-so-scary party. It's a lot of fun for the whole family. So kids, please come and get dressed up and come bring your little Halloween lantern, Halloween pumpkins for candy. For our pets out there, the Manila Museum will host the annual Howl a Wolf event this Sunday at 3 o'clock in the Sculpture Garden. Both humans and pets who are dressed up can receive treats, pose for photos, and complete a costume contest. And I think you're being Sammy, I think, aren't you? Let me share two other quick things that are on my agenda. This Wednesday night, Church on the Drive is doing a spiritual concert. I mention it because it includes Edgewater High School Chorus, Jones Chorus, Evans Chorus, along with Park Lake, Highland, and Church on the Drive. It is a wonderful, wonderful event. So if you want to come by Wednesday and get inspired by watching our youth sing, it's a great event. And then on tonight, the College Park Rotary is supporting End Polio Now, part of the national focus of Rotary. We have worked down to as few as 8 cases of polio in the entire world, based upon gifts that we received, and so we're trying to get it. So as they say in the Rotary, we're this close to ending polio in our lifetime. On the agenda, I've got 2 things. First, welcome to UCF. I appreciate you guys being here. When I spent time as a student government member at University of Florida, I remember all the work I did that seemed selfless. So I know that's hard work, and I appreciate what you guys do. On item A2, let me just say thank you to all of y'all and the work that you do, especially. It's good to see my friends out there and to know that we have a common theme. Let me say a special thanks to Julie Tyndall for your administration of this, and Marcia and the work that you do to make this happen. I'm so grateful for y'all because we couldn't do it without good people like you. And with that, let me read this quick statement. As y'all know, 1 second, let me put something in my throat. Is it okay? You need to lighten up a little bit there, Tony. As y'all know, I have served for many years as the executive director of the Christian Service Center. Budget for this year, many years, my service to the city has included funds that provide a modest grant to the center. The amount that proposed this year is another $25,000. None of that money goes towards general operations, but directly towards program operations. Even so, to avoid even the perceived conflict of interest, I'm abstaining from voting on this particular item A2, which includes the funding agreement between the city and Christian Service Center, and of course I fill out the paperwork and turn it into the clerk. And then the last thing I'd like to share is A7. Welcome to Chief Barksdale. I'm pretty certain he's watching on TV to make sure that he watches the vote go through. But welcome to Chief Barksdale. I had a chance to spend some time with him. I'm really thrilled about the experience he brings into our community. And I think it was a good choice in the direction that we want to go. So Mayor, congratulations on that. And that's all that I have.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Sheehan.
Thank you, Mayor. And community events are on my Facebook and my website in the interest of time. And I also would like to thank all of some of my favorite activists and charities for the work that you do in this community. It's not easy work, but it's certainly rewarding. And I'd like to also shout out to the Pet Alliance of Greater Orlando for doing the spaying and neutering of pets. I think that's critically important in our community. Sorry I didn't shout out to all of you, but I'm a little partial to the doggies and kitties. And also congratulations to Cindy White on the Historic Preservation Board in Lake Eola Heights. She's done a lot of great work in the community. Delighted to see her appointed to the Historic Preservation Board. And I also am really impressed with Benjamin Barksdale. I think he's going to do a really amazing job as our fire chief. Really boots on the ground kind of guy. Generally, he's actually known as a chief to put on fire gear and go fight the fire himself. So I think that leadership from the trenches is really important. I'm delighted to see him on board. And also on the agenda today, we have Family Parks and Recreation, the Sunday Eola Farmers Market fee waiver. I don't think anybody probably has not been to the Orlando Eola Farmers Market. It's a great thing, and delighted to see how successful it's been since we've had it in Lake Eola Park. And we did have the issue with the affordable housing on F2, and I say I will support it today, with the caveat that we must do better with affordable housing. Redevelopment with small percentages of affordable housing is not the answer. We cannot continue to do, mixed rate and only having 10 or 15 units out of hundreds of them be affordable. That's not the answer to our affordable housing crisis. Again, I understand that's the way it's written now. We have to change the rules to make it fair to everyone. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Move to Commissioner Hill.
Thank you, Mayor. Also, in the sake of time, I also have all my upcoming activities and prior activities on my website and at Commissioner Regina Hill District 5 Facebook page. And I also have a Twitter account. And you can find my information there. I also would like to welcome Chief Barksdale. what a outstanding gentleman. I had the opportunity also to meet with him. He come with a superior resume. I think we're very fortunate to have a leader like that of his caliber now to come and lead our fire department. I've also heard great things about him. Him being a fireman's fireman and going in the trenches and standing in lockstep with his firemen and firewomen. So welcome, Chief Barksdale. I also like to thank all the community activists and social community leaders and also culture leaders. Today, you are the boots on the ground. You assist us in making sure our city is moving forward and is one of the best cities, I think, in not just the Southeast region, but also the nation. A little bit prior to council at agenda review, I had some concerns with our F2, which is a preference for affordable housing awards there in Tallahassee. We do know that we have a affordable housing crisis here in Central Florida, and that we have to do something about it when we have almost 1,500 people moving to Central Florida weekly. But we also have another crisis that we cannot forget about, and that is the working poor. And making sure as we increase the housing stock, especially here in the city of Orlando and given those preference, that we do have mixed income housing, but also that we have a preference for those that live in those neighborhoods where we're building. We have a responsibility to the indigenous people of the city and making sure that there's an adequate amount of housing and wraparound services for them also. And so with that being said, and thank you, Mayor, for your suggestion earlier, stating that as we move forward with these affordable housing projects, that we're going to see if we can also strengthen our policy and making sure as we increase the affordable housing stock, that there's a set-aside amount of units for the very low income. And when we say very low income people, we're not talking about those that are on welfare and food stamps. We're talking about the working poor. We're talking about people that work, not anymore, thanks to Mayor Dyer's leadership and council support, to where every employee here at the city of Orlando will be making living wages. But there's folks that work in our theme parks, that work in our hotels, that work even in our school systems, that make under $15 an hour, and they can't afford to live in our affordable units. So then we go affordable for who? Those that make $50,000 a year? Well, for me, that isn't satisfactory, that we consider those folks the stock of affordable housing. We were talking about 100 units today for those people, and only 15 for the very low income, which make less than $25,000 a year. So I'm glad to say that I can support this now, because the developer has stated that they will work with staff and they will increase that 15 to over 20 units, and they'll be working with staff to see if there's even some more wiggle room. I understand that people have to make monies off their investments, but we still can't get rich off the poor. We have to be concerned about that. So I'd like to applaud and thank the developer for meeting with staff and myself a little bit earlier to make sure that, as we say, all-inclusive City of Orlando, that is not just all-inclusive for some folks, but for everyone. And with that being said, I think we're going to continue to move forward. I look forward to strengthening our city policies when it comes to the working class poor. And usually those are the people that have toiled in those areas for generations. And it is a travesty to build quality housing in those communities, and they have to drive by and can't live there. So I applaud city staff for continuing to work towards affordability. But today, I like to celebrate working with these developers, and that's what it takes, public-private partnerships and collaborative efforts. And I applaud you all there at Invoke Phase 1 on continue to be great partners as we move the whole city forward. And with that, Mayor, I completed my.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Commissioner Ings?
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I'd like to say happy birthday to Jackie, my aide, and also to Carmen in Human Relations, as well as my daughter Candace, whose birthday is coming up October 26th, and she is a graduate of UCF as well. On Tuesday, October the 8th, I attended the Biz Center USA ribbon cutting event that was held at 6000 Metro West Boulevard, suite number 200. Fernando Mariano is opening up a business center, and these are suites that are available for businesses that can come in and enjoy business atmosphere. Also, the West Orange Chamber of Commerce was there to assist in the ribbon cutting event. And then on Wednesday, October the 9th, I attended the ceremony of my father, Charles R. Ings, that was held at the office of Congressman Darren Soto in Kissimmee, Florida. Congressman Soto flew the American flag over the U.S. Capitol in honor and memory of my father, Charles Richard Ings, who passed away January 12, 2019. My father was 85 years old, and he was the first black officer to ride with a white officer with the Orlando Police Department in 1968. And he was also the first black detective with the Orlando Police Department in 1968. So I want to thank Congressman Darren Soto for his support in this effort. My wife, June Marie Ings, was there, and a couple other family members were there with me in support, and so this was a great opportunity to receive this. And on Thursday, October 10th, I attended the Change Makers Impact Awards that was held at the Rosen Plaza Hotel there at 9700 International Drive in Orlando, Florida. The recipients were Harris Rosen, Shelley Lawton, SunTrust Bank, and Sandy Hostetter was there to receive that award for them. Father Jose Rodriguez and Dr. Shante Barton Stubbs, who is the founder and director of New Image Youth Center here in Orlando, in the Paramore area. And she received a $5,000 award from the United Way for her efforts. It started off with $1,500, and then they doubled that, and then they doubled it again. So that was really great. And then on Thursday, I attended the 2019 Volunteer Appreciation Luncheon that was hosted by the Orlando Housing Authority. And this was held on Hillside Avenue here in Orlando. Commissioner Sheehan was also a recipient of award for what she have done in the past with the Reeves Terrace Housing Authority and other groups as well. So this was very well attended by so many people, and the lunch was just really great. And then on Monday, October 14th, I attended the Gracias Christmas Cantata at the Amway Center, and I also presented the City of Orlando proclamation at that time. Thousands of people attended this event. Commissioner Regina Hill was there, as well as her grandson, Poppy, who just truly loves me. And am I incorrect, Commissioner?
He gave you a hug, okay.
He literally jumped into my arms when he saw me. So that was a great event, and for those of you that don't know about the Christmas Cantata, you should see it. It is so fantastic with the costuming. It takes us back to the birth of Christ, the Roman soldiers, and all of that. So it was really a great event. And many of the singers in the choir are all from Korea. And this youth choir is known worldwide. So being at the Amway Center, they were looking for more seating capacity, and it was just great, fantastic. The community really came out for it. So I encourage you to go out next year. They're looking to do it again at the Amway Center and attend this event. And the next thing I have here is Saturday, October 19th, I attended the Arab American
Letter.
I can't hear you.
Letter.
A letter. He sent a letter, and it was read. Your letter was read, Mayor Dyer, to the public that attended that event. And we had some other county commissioners that were there also. So this was a very well-attended event, too. Yeah, Luis was there. Thank you, Luis, for being there. And, Mayor, with that, I move approval of the consent agenda.
Motion by Commissioner Ing, second by Commissioner Hill. All in favor indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, so the motion carries. Congratulations, groups. So we will take about a 30-second recess. So those of you who would like to no longer participate in this meeting can. Absolutely. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Good, thanks for coming.
All right, we're going to recess, without objection, recess the city council meeting and convene the CRA. Thomas? Let me run through the first three. The first item of business is CRA Advisory Board minutes from August the 7th. Is there a motion to? Second. Motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Sheehan. All in favor indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Second is approving CRA meeting minutes from the 12th of August. Motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Stewart. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. And then September 16th, CRA.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Hill. All in favor indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. All right, MEBA funding agreement for Chloe Lane Embroidery.
Thank you and good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. As the Mayor said, item 4 is approving a MEBA funding agreement for Chloe Lane Embroidery. You recall that MEBA, of course, is a program that provides assistance to small businesses for existing and new businesses for business retention and creation in the MEBA target area, which is essentially Paramore, by providing up to $40,000 for such expenses as capital improvements, capital equipment, marketing, and relocation expenses. Before you today is Chloe Lane Embroidery, which is a Florida limited liability company founded in February of 2018 when it relocated to 595 West Church Street, Suite M, which is, of course, City View. Chloe Lane Embroidery provides solutions for brand embroidery, screen printing, vinyl printing, and personalized business and special occasion gifts. The three owners have vast experience in and expertise in business management, customer service, and embroidery businesses, which they bring to the situation. The applicants today are requesting $35,563 for capital equipment or capital improvements and marketing assistance. Both the MEBA board and the CRA advisory boards have recommended approval. And if there are no questions, staff is requesting the CRA approve the MEBA funding agreement, continuing guarantee and security agreement between the CRA and Chloe Lane Embroidery LLC, and authorization for the chairman and executive director of the CRA to execute said agreements subject to the review and approval of the city attorney's office.
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Discussion. Hearing done, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Thomas, further business?
There's none, Mayor. Thank you.
Welcome back, Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you.
You look great up there.
Well, good. I'll tell my makeup artist. Thanks, Commissioner.
Then we will adjourn the CRA meeting and we will reconvene the city council meeting. We're on hearings, ordinances, second reading. Number 1, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance 2019-47, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, relating to a street name change, renaming Trailer Boulevard, generally located north of West Princeton Street, west of North Orange Blossom Trail, and east and west of Diversified Way, Decanery Way, directing amendments to the official maps of the City of Orlando, Florida, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Stewart, second by Commissioner Hill. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify relating to this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, number 2.
Ordinance 2019-51, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, annexing to the corporate limits of the city certain land generally located north of Oak Estates Drive, east of South Orange Avenue, south of East Pine Lodge Avenue, and west of South Osceola Avenue, and comprised of 0.34 acres of land, more or less, and amending the city's boundary description, amending the city's adopted growth management plan to designate the property as office low intensity on the city's official future land use maps, designating the property as the low intensity office residential with a specially planned area overlay district for Orange and Michigan special plan area on the city's official zoning maps, providing for amendment of the city's official future land use and zoning maps, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, permit disclaimer, and effective date.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Hill. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify relating to this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, number 3.
Ordinance 2019-52, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the city's adopted growth management plan by updating figure CI-14 to be entitled City of Orlando 2019 to 2024 Capital Improvement Element Capital Improvements Fund Schedule, amending policy 2.2.30 in the Capital Improvements Element, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ing, second by Commissioner Stewart. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify relating to this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. And number 4.
Ordinance 2019-56, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending and restating the Plan Development Zoning District regulations for the Orlando Health Plan Development on property generally located north of Cayley Street, south of Gore Street, east of Atlanta Avenue, and west of Orange Avenue, and comprised of 73.3 acres, more or less, rezoning certain land within the Orlando Health Development, providing for amendment of the city's official zoning map, severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and effective date.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Hill. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify related to this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, let's move to ordinances on first reading. Number 1.
Ordinance 2019-44, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the Beltway Commerce Center Plan Development Zoning District to allow recreational vehicle storage and vehicle trailer parking on Site G of the plan development, providing for additional conditions, providing for amendment of the city's official zoning map, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, permit disclaimer, and effective date.
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Gray.
It's a long one, I know.
Which Gray guy did the second? Second by Commissioner Stewart. Sorry, I was thinking about Beltway Commerce and boat storage. Is there anyone like to testify? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, and the last one, number 2.
2019-53, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, annexing to the corporate limits of the city certain property generally located north of Hoffner Avenue, south of Van Road, and west of Volusia Drive, and comprised of 1.105 acres of land, more or less, and amending the city's boundary description, amending the city's adopted growth management plan to designate the property as office low intensity on the city's official future land use maps, designating the property as the office and residential district with the aircraft noise overlay district on the city's official zoning maps, providing for amendment of the city's official future land use and zoning maps, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, permit disclaimer, and effective date.
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner Ortiz. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. That concludes the official agenda of the Orlando City Council.